I want to do a deep dive video on my favorite character in Chaos Zero Nightmare, and I want to do a little bit more of this. I want to do more character guides. If you guys want to see more character guides, can you let me know which characters you'd want to see in the comments below? I know a lot of you are probably going to say Kayron. He's like my second favorite character, so I probably will do Kayron anyway. But anybody else that you'd like to see, let me know. I don't tend to do really well edited videos. That's just not my thing. I've got a full-time job. I don't have the time to sit down and edit big videos for YouTube. I basically just like posting my gameplay, and if you guys like that, that's great. So yeah, I'm going to be going into Veronica, but yeah, I also would let you know, do you guys want to see different types of content from me? I do my shorts, obviously, which I do edit a little bit. I have like a kind of unique editing style for my shorts, which I think looks pretty good. But if you guys want to see anything different from my long form videos, also let me know. I'm going to try and do more character guides though, because I think that'll be interesting. Let's start off with what Veronica is. What is Veronica? What role does she fulfill? What is the point of Veronica? Veronica is what we call a sub-DPS. She's not intended to be a main DPS character. The reason being is that she doesn't really have as much agency as a lot of other DPS characters, and she is primarily designed to get better by synergizing with other characters, and also just from having like cost-free DPS that's associated with her. She also has a lot of utility in her kit as well. So this is my Veronica at the moment, and I'm actually in a good position with Veronica. I have all 7 dupes. I actually pulled 8 dupes of Veronica. This the first 5-star that I got that then just gave me, I think, like memory fragments or whatever it is, or you know, like whatever that little helix currency is. Anyway, really annoying. I pulled 8 Veronicas. Believe it or not, I got really lucky. I'm going to put that in inverted commas. Lucky. I got very lucky. And pulled lots of copies of Veronica. She's really good and she's carried me very far, but also I'd love to have had a more diverse set of characters to play with, but I've just got lots of Veronica. But it puts me in a really good position to talk about Veronica because I've practically unlocked everything for her. Let's start off with her skills. The whole unique gimmick of Veronica is this, firing preparation, and it basically, it sort of comes into your hand from the very beginning, and you use it, and every turn you're going to create a ballista. There are a few upgrades to this epiphany, and you can see the epiphanies that you can get here. So these are the epiphanies that you can get by triggering. In my opinion, if you're going to get an epiphany for this card, my favorite one, at least the one that makes Veronica, in my opinion, the most high DPS potential, is the chance to create an additional ballista. So if you create 2 additional ballistas, and it's just amazing. Like you have the potential to have like a really massive DPS turn. You can kind of play around Veronica using her ego skill. Especially when you've got a couple of dupes of Veronica, you can use her ego skill to really, really ramp up the DPS in one turn. But the whole point of the upgrades from this particular card is that you have Veronica can adapt to suit what you're going up against. Like piercing ballista, it has 50% damage if that target's got a shield. Obviously, there are some chaos runs where you're going to have mostly shielded enemies. You know, like when you're fighting the angels, for instance, they are mostly shielded. You have Enhanced Ballista, which does a 30% extra critical strike chance, which means that if you've got a good critical strike chance of Veronica, you can end up dealing like insane damage. Giant Ballista, which is also, I'm going to sneeze. Giant Ballista, which attacks all enemies, so it gives Veronica some AoE. This is my second favorite upgrade. It just means that Veronica is always going to be useful in an AoE setting. And then you have Shelling Ballista, which has the ability to scale a lot higher. Especially if you have like skills that add damage to your card, it is going to get twice the scaling damage on this card, which also attacks 2 different enemies. So like everything here has potential to be used in the right scenario. The whole point is though that you get this ballista. It attacks at the end of turn and it's free. So once you've used this, you're getting basically like a 1.5 cost DPS card every single turn for free. When you don't have any dupes of Veronica, it will attack a random enemy. That's important to note because when we talk about dupes, there is a skill that changes that and it makes Veronica actually much more consistent. That's why I prefer Giant Ballista when you don't have dupes of Veronica, or the 50% dupe one, because you know you're likely, if you get 2, you're going to likely hit something good, right? Or the Giant Ballista, you just know you're going to hit everything, so that's also good. Yeah, but the point of this is that, you know, she has an end of turn damage which can be scaled based on other things that happen and other moves that you make in the game. There are some downsides to end of turn damage, that being that there's less agency in terms of how it's applied. You have to really monitor action count, for instance. So the benefit of an in-turn action count versus an end of turn is that if you're going to use the final card that's going to kill them and have an action count of 1, then they won't take their turn, they'll die. Whereas if you're Veronica, you don't have that option. You can't take them down to a 0 turn count. You have to leave it at 1 and then do your end of turn damage. So, you're always going to have potentially a situation where you have to manage the enemy action count more closely than you maybe would do if you were using an active DPS. Rapid fire, this just basically has a chance to create a ballista card. That is an upgrade that you get through her potential. It's a good one, so worth having. You have this shielding skill, which is one of the ones that I cut pretty early on. Repose, which is an absolutely fantastic card, has some really good upgrades. You have a 0 cost two card draw from other combatants, which is fantastic. You have a shield, plus if you draw a skill card, you get a reload. There is this is my favorite one, so draw 2 other combatant cards and reduce their cost by 1 for 1 turn. So basically you get a 1 AP shift in your favor. You have reload versus the number of skill cards in hand, so that can be really good for buffing up her own damage, or discard all other combatant cards in hand and reload equal to that number. That can be pretty useful if you're running Veronica as your main DPS, and so therefore the other combatant cards aren't going to be as useful. All of these are good in the right scenarios, but the go-to best ones, in my opinion, are 0 cost to draw 2 cards, or 1 cost with the shield, and then you just reduce the cost of the cards that you draw, which is essentially almost like, I think, a better version of the 0 cost one, but you just obviously have to have the AP to use it. Pendant of Resolution, when another combatant uses a skill card, 1 reload, which makes, basically the Veronica works really well with those kind of characters that like to spam skills. So she's really good with Mika, because Mika is primarily skill-based. She very rarely uses attack. There are a couple of really good ones when using a skill card. So it could be anybody when using a skill card. You get 1 reload, so that applies to her own skills, which is nice because there are some good skills for Veronica, including like Sir Kowalski and also what we just had a look at. I can't remember what the hell was it called. I've just forgotten. Repose. So that's a really nice one. You have when another combatant uses a skill card, 1 reload. If 3 are used at the start of the turn, create a micro ballista card. So micro ballista is just like, here you go, at the end of the turn. It's basically a small ballista. It's basically just a version of the small ballista, just does less damage. So slightly buff up the damage, which is quite nice. You have 1 turn when a card is used, 1 reload, but that is an exhaust and it's a skill. I don't love that one. I also don't love I don't love the 2 versions that are skills here. They do give you a little bit more agency over when to add reload to your kit, but there are actually loads of great ways to add reload, and I just think these 2 are a little bit. I just prefer having the upgrade, especially when you're doing longer fights. And then there's a 50% chance to gain another reload. But in my opinion, I like any of these upgrades. I like the micro ballista one. I do like the 50% chance to gain an extra reload, which is quite nice. Don't love the skill versions of this card. Sir Kowalski, absolute beast little card. You choose and buff up a ballista, and then you draw 1. So you can choose 1 ballista and increase the damage, and then draw 2. So it's again another 1 cost, draw 2. Can't tell you how good that is in card games. Having card draw and card cycle is fantastic. All ballista damage increases by 30%, so that can be really strong if you've got lots of ballistas in hand. When drawing, or like just good in general. Draw 2 when drawing a skill card, create a 1 ballista. I love that as well. Like, you can basically create loads of ballistas in hand, which is fantastic. These are the 2 that I don't actually get as much. 250% damage of 1 random ballista card, exhaust after activation. I actually don't really know what exhaust after activation means. It doesn't exhaust this card as far as I'm aware, and maybe it does, but I don't really get this card. Choose 1 ballista card in hand, exhaust that and create 2 ballistas, 25% damage amount until activated. So basically, you can create and split a ballista, which is nice. All of these are good, but I really like the draw 2, and I really like the creating a new ballista from a skill, because it's also a draw 2. I just like boosting Sir Kowalski to another draw 2. So essentially, you can get to a situation where you have 2 draw 2s in her deck, and actually you can very easily copy Repose or copy Sir Kowalski and get loads of card draw, which is why we call Veronica like a sub-DPS utility pick. You have Bombardment Prep. This doesn't gain an epiphany. This is just, again, this is a way of increasing your max reload stacks. It is worth noting, this is where we can talk about reloads, because I haven't really talked about reload up until this point. Every time you reload, you gain 50% ballista damage. This increases the max stack, so you get an extra 50% ballista damage. And there is also an ego skill that increases this, and you get up to 5 reload stacks max. 5 max reload stacks gives you 250% extra ballista damage, which is nutty. You can do a lot of damage with Veronica when you stack up her reload on the right levels. Okay, talking about partners. There are a lot of good partners for Veronica. I actually chose one of the free partners that you got from the Battle Pass. This is 20 extra damage of the assigned combatant, so basically just getting extra damage. When the assigned combatant draws for the first time each turn, you're using an ability, 10% attack card damage for 1 turn. It's nice, and it also gains a mark. I actually really like Celia for Veronica. I think it's one of her best partners. So I just think if you get the option, you like Veronica from the Battle Pass, this is where I would go with my partner. But any Ranger partner is going to be okay for Veronica. Okay, so potential. Like I said, big potential is add to a rapid fire, create a 20% chance to create one random ballista card in hand. That is a great way to potentially have a really big flip turn, so it's super nice. I'm just in the process of trying to max out as much as I can here. 5% damage for Veronica's rapid fire. If Veronica's attack is greater than 500, an additional 5% damage to that value. So that's basically 10% damage to your rapid fires. And then if Veronica's attack is greater than 700, 5% ballista shot damage for every 40 attack exceeding that value, getting an extra 1%. So mine's currently 800 and something, so I would get like 8% extra ballista damage out of this. But the most important one is this, because it can really give you some big swing turns, and that's really important. Obviously, you always want to get the combat epiphany, so you basically want to get a free epiphany when you enter into a fight. Memory fragments. So I haven't really got the best setup for memory fragments right now. Right now, I'm just going for Blackwing and then basic attack damage, because you do actually want to use rapid fire with Veronica wherever you can. I haven't really gone much further than that. You're obviously looking for attack, you're looking for critical strike chance and a critical strike damage. So anything with attack, critical strike damage, and critical strike chance. But candidly, just do some of your own research. Blackwing's always going to be anything that increases damage is going to be good for Veronica. Remember, she's not really an active card user, so not exactly fantastic in terms of like going for things that are going to be actively boosting her damage on active cards. But yes, this is basically what I've got at the moment. You might want to go for critical strike. I think there's one that gives like critical strike damage increase. That's also pretty good. But right now, my critical strike chance is too low to make that relevant for Veronica. Okay, manifest ego. Here we go. So, bombardment prep, the reload is increased by 2. That basically turns your bombardment prep from a reload 1 into a reload 3 that I've currently got. It's nice, but it's not a big deal. Her first ego is not a big thing. Like the first sort of dupe is not fantastic. This dupe is really important. So dupe number 2, really important. Whenever an ally uses a targeting attack card, apply 1 floral scent to the target. Floral scent, 20% damage taken from ballista. This monster becomes a ballista activation target, and it stays on that target until it's removed onto another target. This means that Veronica's ballistas go from being random to targeted, which is very good in group scenarios where you want to focus down an important target first. This is one of her most important dupes. It massively increases the quality of life playing Veronica, so 2 dupes is like the threshold that you're looking for. Add to hunting time, which is her ego skill. We haven't actually talked about that yet. So hunting time is 250% piercing damage to all enemies, gain maximum reload, so it goes to your maximum reload stacks, and then create 1 random ballista. So basically, you get the third one is create a random ballista. This is also really, really good. This makes hunting time really strong for single target damage burst turns. And again, third dupe is fantastic. So absolutely awesome. Reload max stacks +1. So that plus bombardment prep means you can take your reload stacks to 5. It's not that big of a deal to go from 4 to 5. You're just looking at 50% damage, but it can stack up with the more ballistas in hand. However, again, not as important. 3 dupes is kind of... 2 dupes is really important. 3 dupes is awesome. 4 dupes is kind of whatever. This is, again, kind of meh. Just, increases that. And at the start of the turn, inflicts 1 mark on all enemies inflicted with floral scent. 1 mark is important. Increases the damage to that target. So... can be really good if you're going to use, if you're going to use rapid fire or consume the mark. But yeah, ultimately can be really nice. It's a way of also boosting the DPS of your partners too. Allows you to focus down 1 target. But realistically, getting to the 3rd dupe is like the biggest break point for Veronica. The 2nd dupe is her the 2nd dupe is her biggest one, but the 3rd dupe is really nice. Beyond the 3rd dupe, it's kind of meh. Everything else is like somewhat meh. So, absolutely go for the third dupe if you can. That's what makes Veronica really good. So how can you actually build her? Like, what kind of builds should you be looking for? Well, I can show you a couple of my save data. So this is a really insane save data that I absolutely love. This is 3 reposes at 0 cost, massive card draw. It's got the 50% chance to create another ballista, 50% chance to gain an additional reload. I've got a quick draw. I've also got bombardment prep, and I've got draw 2 when creating a skill, create 1 ballista. Basically, this is a way of cycling cards like crazy to create as many ballistas as I can, use hunting time to get a massive burst damage output. And this is kind of this is probably the best save data that I've got. This is very heavy utility with lots of DPS potential. That's kind of what I go for with Veronica. You want to go very heavy utility with lots of DPS potential. There isn't really another big way to play Veronica. You're just looking for a good amount of card cycle with the ability to have lots of really good passive reload stack increases. But yeah, I love Veronica. She's absolutely fantastic. So now that we've gone through her in great detail, I guess I could show you her in a fight. All right, we're going to try one of the new boss rushes on this, sort of like a difficult boss fight. The problem is you can't use save data from your normal save data. You've got to use the save data that you got from the chaos here. So, oh god, it's gone into automatic mode. All right, so what do we got here? We got draw 2, discard 2, 1 AP. That's really nice. I also have trickery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard Soul Rip, obviously. I'm going to probably discard... I'm probably going to discard Trickery Strike. No, I want to discard Soul Rip. I might discard Trickery Strike as well. I'm going to use Soul Rip there, which will get me some decibels. I'm going to draw through, because obviously we want to draw through. We're going to get a nice Iceberg Cleave and a Rapid Slash. Now, do I want to bother? No, more damage is going to come from this. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use Iceberg Cleave. This has got 15k HP. I did not realize how much HP this guy had. And we've got 1 Ballista at the moment, so a little bit of early turn damage. We need some AoE here, ideally. How much damage is this guy going to do? Not that much. We could start with draw 2, Adagio. I am going to get rid of Amp Up. I'm probably going to get rid of Forbidden Disposal because I don't need it right now. Going to go for this. Going to go for this as well. Now, do I want to do Sir Kowalski or do I just go Rapid Fire? I'm going to go Sir Kowalski. It's going to give me some damage increase on this Ballista. Oh yeah, I forgot they go to the front of my head. Give me another Ballista. Is that another Ballista? It's not another Ballista. Oh well, fine. And I didn't get the other Aqua Ball, which is kind of a pain because that's a bit of damage, but that's okay. Ah, we got another one here. So let's have a think about this. We've got Nia's Curiosity, so we're going to check the draw pile and pull something. I would love to do this. I would also love to do this. This would I don't need that. I'm going to go for Bombardment Prep here. The reason I'm going to go for Bombardment Prep is I just want to get it out of the way and get my deck cycled. So I'm going to do that. I am then going to go for this. It's going to be on Iceberg Cleave, which is fine. We're going to go Iceberg Cleave to get rid of the Aqua Ball. I call this the Booby Cleave. And it didn't get rid of the Aqua Ball. Oh, it did. Okay, fine. That's great. I have 2 Ballistas in hand, but I'm not going to do much more than that right now because I have 4 reload stacks. It should deal a lot of damage. It does deal quite a bit of damage there, which is nice. Is he going to create new Aqua Balls is the question. Yes, which means I might be in a situation where I want to use Hunting Time depending on how many he pulls. Okay, so we've got Decibels that are getting used, which is nice. Let's start off with Adagio. That's going to use Iceberg Attack. I will get rid of Sir Kowalski for the time being and Rapid Fire. Ooh, I got rid of that. Now I'm going to use Ice Booby Attack. So let's go Ice Booby Attack. And that's good. So then we're going to use Trickery Strike. Just want to get rid of you want to get rid of the Aqua Balls here. That's good. We're going to use Rapid Fire to make sure that I don't get that attack there. The question is now, should I just take the damage? I think I should just take the damage. That's fine. I don't have much healing because I'm using Nia and I've only done one of these runs. So I've kind of got to make sure I am looking after my health where I can. So I've got amp up therapy here, which I think is now potentially a good time to use it. We are going to use rapid fire here, and we didn't get it. We didn't get anything too crazy, so we're going to use Sir Kowalski. We have got prepare to subdue, but only depends if I draw something that can actually. Yeah, that's fine. Not really anything too crazy there. And I got ice booby attack as well. I do actually want to use hunting time soon for a big turn. I just need to get. I need to get a lot of. I need to get a lot of. Ideally, a lot of ballistas. So I've got 2 ballistas in hand here, and I've got Adagio. So let's go. Let's go for Adagio. Let's get rid of Trickery Strike and. This is a really tough one. I actually could get rid of Soul Rip. Let's get rid of this, and obviously Soul Rip. Get a nice heal out of that, which is really nice. Now I need to have a look at what else I can get. So Nia's Curiosity. Let's draw 2 again. Let's get rid of Trickery Strike, and I'll get rid of Mute Accent here as well. Oh my god, I've got a lot of AP. What do I want here? Repose would be nice, because it's going to be more draw. So we're going to use more draw here. We've got Iceberg. So I like going with Iceberg Slap. So let's go Iceberg Slap. Booby Strike. I just don't have... What I really want is another Ballista, which I don't get here. I think I'd like to use this, but that... How much damage am I doing here? I don't know. Let's use G-Chord. What are we getting? Oh, Forbidden, Disposable Ego. We draw a lot. Discard 1 random card. Is it going to be the Ballista? I discarded the Ballista. Oh well, that's fine. God, I really do want to use my skills at some point. Okay, so we've got a lot here. Got a lot of. Okay, so let's just lead with this and see if I get another Ballista. I don't get another Ballista. Let's do this. I don't think I have anything to draw. I've got Flash. I've got this. I guess I'll just use this. I don't have... I could go to max reload stacks here, but I want to save this for when he... I really want to save that for when he pulls out the balls. Again, I'm holding on to a lot here. I don't think I need to, but I'm just looking for a big turn with Veronica. Oh, there's a... Nia's Curiosity. I've got a lot of Adagio, so let's do this. Let's see if I get another Ballista, which I don't. I don't get another Ballista. I did get Iceberg Booby Cleave, though, which is nice. It's fine. Let's use Nia's Curiosity. And I guess I can have this. And then I'll get rid of Soul Rip. And I'll actually get rid of this because I can't even use it. I actually think I'm going to have to use my EP skill. Let's do this again. We're just cycling through my deck loads. I only have one... I only have one AP that I can use after this. So let's just get rid of this and use G-Chord. Okay. We use G-Chord, see what I get. Mute Accent. I'm actually just going to use this to make sure that I don't die. It's not going to really show off Veronica's like true skills, but it's all right. I also got a micro ballista. It's like the worst possible one I could get. However, you can see like we're managing fine here. I'm not even worried about HP. I'm really only worried about stress. That's just one ballista for the time being. Let's draw a couple more. That immediately went in the bin for some reason. Let's do this. Let's use amp therapy just for a little bit of healing. Let's use this, and it went on the wrong time. Oh no, we got booby cleave. Let's go booby cleave. And then a little bit of damage at the end. Nothing too flashy so far. Unfortunately, I've already used my EP skill, so I need to get my reloads in another way. Oh, there's the. Is this going to be a lot of damage to me? We'll have to see. Oh my god, I got loads of ballistas. All right, this is where we actually wish we had the EP skill. We'll go on this. Oh my god, I wish I had ballistas. Right. Please draw me some skills that I can gain stacks with. None of those are skills. Damn it. I really want some reload stacks. But what I will do is I will just get my next iceberg cleave. Actually, not gonna work. Whatever. Let's just hope that we kill the. Right. Well, we did a lot of damage because we had a load of ballistas, and we killed one of the ice balls. I mean, we're gonna win this. It's just taking its time. Let's just go prepare. Oh, for goodness sake, really? Let's go Adagio then. Let's get rid of these. Give me a nice big amount of healing. I can probably just win. Do that. I'm probably just going to use this because I might as well. And then I'll heal myself. And I don't actually have Ballista to win this thing. But I shouldn't need it because I should be able to just win now. That's that. Let's go with Adagio first. Let's do that. And I'm just going to attack him and win. Looks like, I think. Okay. I wouldn't say that. I mean, that just kind of shows you what Veronica's role is. It's just like a sub-DPS cycler. I didn't do massive damage with Veronica in that situation, but Veronica's not always going to deal massive damage. It really has to be the right situation, and I didn't quite find the right situation there. But, you know, at the end of the day, we got a good challenge done there. I think that was pretty good, considering I only have, like, more. 20% damage to enemies at the start of turn, create one contamination card to the draw pile. Should we just keep going? I feel like we could just keep going. Maybe not in this video. This video would end up being like 50 million years long. But that was cool. I like this boss rush game mode. That's actually really cool. And I need to up the difficulty. So, oh my god. Turn draw after 6 turns. Monster damage greatly increases. So that's going to be a problem. 50% monster HP, 20% damage. Oh my god, look at that one. That's insane. I'd love to keep going with this. Anyway, that's Veronica. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was informative for you. And you guys find joy using her.